1, 2, 3.
Hello and welcome to the Narc Alert, the channel where we look at YouTubers and others to see if they demonstrate any traits that fall within the spectrum of narcissistic personality disorder or NPD. These videos are for fun and entertainment purposes only, strictly my opinion, and remember, please don't send any snark to our possible narcs. So key points to remember: messy fun and not a diagnosis.
Hello, hola, bonjour, hey y'all, my name is Merc. Welcome back to the Narc Alert. Well, today we've got a really special video. As I've been hinting at, it seems that our little Amber has been returning to some of her more narcissistic ways, and it has become really evident in her last video, where she addresses Beck for what she claims to be the final time. Now, full transparency, on first viewing, I kind of got sucked in. I thought the first minute or two felt genuine, but I don't know. On rewatching a couple of times with a more critical eye, I may have changed my mind. And so I thought it might be fun to refresh us all on the traits of narcissism. Now recall there are 9, and you have to check off 5 pervasive traits to actually be considered a narcissist. So let's take a look at those traits one more time. Narcissistic personality disorder, the official guide to being that person. Basics of narcissism and diagnostic criteria. So what is narcissism? So you think you know a narcissist, or maybe you suspect that you are one. Don't worry, if you are, you won't believe it anyway. Let's take a sassy deep dive into the 9 criteria for narcissistic personality disorder, because knowing what you're dealing with is half the battle. If someone ticks 5 or more of these boxes, congratulations! You may have a certified narcissist in your life, or on your YouTube homepage. Number 1, grandiosity. I'm kind of a big deal syndrome. You know that person who thinks that they're the next Einstein, even though they couldn't pass high school algebra? Yeah, that's this. Narcissists overinflate their achievements and expect everyone to applaud. They'll casually mention their brilliant ideas that never materialized and expect you to admire their genius like they're Steve Jobs reincarnated. Number 2, preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, beauty, or ideal love, otherwise known as main character energy. This is the person who thinks that they're just one viral moment away from superstardom, or that the universe owes them a soulmate that looks like Ryan Gosling but's also a billionaire. They live in a fantasy world where they're the most successful, the most attractive, and even the most envied person, despite actual accomplishments to back it up. Number 3, believes that they are special and only want to associate with high-status people. Peasants, step aside. They don't just think they're amazing, they think only other amazing people, by their standards, are worth their time. They're convinced they should be rubbing elbows with celebrities, CEOs, and influencers, even though they're just another random. Number 4, requires excessive admiration. Tell me I'm pretty, or else. Narcissists need a constant supply of praise, validation, ass pats, compliments, or they start short-circuiting like a Wi-Fi router in a thunderstorm. Their self-esteem is so fragile that if you don't hype them up 24/7, they will spiral into full-blown tantrum or ghost you for someone who will. Number 5, sense of entitlement. Rules are for other people. A narcissist believes that the world exists to serve them. They think that they should always get special treatment, cut in line, have the best seat, and never have to follow the same rules as everyone else. If they don't get their way, expect a meltdown worthy of a toddler at Target. Number 6, exploits others for personal gain. Friendship is just networking, right? Narcissists see people as tools, not friends, not partners, just stepping stones to get what they want. Need a favor? They're busy. Need them to listen to your problems? Nope. But when they need something, you better drop everything and cater to their every whim. Number 7, lacks empathy. Your feelings are inconvenient to me. Ever tried explaining your problems to a narcissist? Fun, right? They don't care. Unless your issue somehow affects them, they will invalidate your emotions while making everything about themselves. Number 8, envious of others and believes others are envious of them. I deserve that more than you do. They can't stand seeing someone else succeed, so they'll either tear them down or convince themselves that the other person is just jealous of them. And finally, number 9, arrogant or haughty behaviors. Bow down, mortals. They walk around like they're superior to everyone, even though their lives are a hot mess. They act like they're above it all, but deep down, they're one minor inconvenience away from an emotional breakdown. If someone in your life is checking off these boxes like a narcissistic bingo card, it might be time to run, block, or at least lower your expectations.
Hello. So welcome to a new video. It's actually February 7th at 3 a.m. in the morning. Yes, I should be asleep, but here I am awake filming a video. I was actually getting ready to get comfy and try to sleep. My sleeping hasn't been the greatest. I've just been having a lot of anxiety. And when I have a lot of anxiety, I go to sleep really late and I genuinely hate it. Something I've suffered with majority of my life. But anyways, I could have totally slept and waited till tomorrow to film this, but I think it's just so heavy that I have to do it now.
The I'm in the mood now demand. A narcissist doesn't care if the setting is appropriate. If they want something, they want it now. Whether it's picking a fight in public, trying to flirt during a serious moment, or making an inappropriate joke at a formal event, they are the masters of awkward timing. They don't care about you, only their own wants in that exact moment.
So I can just be completely done with it. I watched Beck's new video that they posted tonight or today or whenever, but it was a new one. So that video genuinely shocked me and it made me feel stupid and dumb, and it made me realize that the way that I viewed our relationship was completely wrong, and I was oblivious to a lot of things, even to the extent of the way that I treated them. So I want to be accountable in that. But this is just the example that I saw in their newest video where it made me look back and be like, yeah, we both actually viewed this relationship completely different.
When a narcissist has a moment of self-awareness, don't get too excited. Every now and again, the narcissist has a brief moment of self-awareness. They might admit to being manipulative, acknowledge they treated people badly, or even question their own behavior. Sounds like progress, right? Not so fast. This moment of clarity is usually fleeting, like a Snapchat message that vanishes before you can screenshot it.
So in their new video, they were reacting to a compilation video of me being rude to them for 10 minutes straight. And in the reaction, Beck stated multiple times that it's obvious that they didn't want to be on camera. And they said, oh, look at me zoning out while she's talking. And it's both of those things genuinely hurt, and it made me realize I didn't even notice these things.
They see themselves as the main character. You're just an extra in their movie. A narcissist doesn't think, how does this affect others? They think, how does this affect me? Other people are supporting characters in the epic saga of their life, and if you're upset, it's probably because you don't understand your role.
Just like how when I was in a relationship with them, I didn't notice how mean or rude I could come off until looking back, and I just feel super remorseful.
So all the videos, all the compilations over all the years, none of this enlightened her. Smells like damage control.
I viewed our whole relationship a certain way that it wasn't. I genuinely thought that they wanted to be on camera and that they were okay with being on camera. And I was so accustomed to them zoning out or seeming like they didn't want to be on camera that that was normal for me. But I didn't know that the zoning out and the look on their face, etc., was like an indication that they weren't listening to me or that they didn't want to be on camera. Like that is like news to me.
They believe their intentions matter more than their actions. I didn't mean it, so it doesn't count. A narcissist will never take responsibility because they believe intentions are more important than outcomes. If they didn't mean to hurt you, or if they can pretend they didn't, then they think you have no right to be upset.
So knowing that like I viewed our relationship one way and it wasn't, like I genuinely look stupid, but I guess like maybe I low-key deserve it. Realizing that we both viewed this relationship so differently actually makes it easier for me to be accountable and to apologize.
The fake accountability trap. Watch how fast this turns into your fault. They admit they hurt someone, but wait for it. Here comes the excuse, deflection, or victimhood. They'll say just enough to seem reflective, but never enough to actually change.
Because if that's the way that they truly viewed it, like I deeply apologize for that. And there's nothing I can do to change their opinions and their thoughts and their experience because that's what they lived. I wasn't the greatest girlfriend. I wasn't the most perfect girlfriend, but I will say I'm not all good. I'm not all bad. And I wasn't that way then either. Like our relationship was definitely complex. And even though it might not be visible to the public or even to Beck in this moment, I have taken accountability for the things that I've done. And in the video, they even stated like, I don't want you to reach out to me. And that's very much why I haven't, because I wanted to respect those boundaries. But they said, I don't want an apology from you. I genuinely feel like Beck deserves an apology for the wrongdoings that I did do.
When you tell a narcissist you don't want their apology, the fake Zen response. Telling a narcissist, I don't want your apology, is like pouring water on a circuit board. If the tantrum route doesn't work, they might try to pretend they're above it all, which is just another way of dismissing your feelings. Wow, I guess you're just not ready to heal yet. That's okay. I'll pray for you.
But if they don't want to accept it or hear it, then I have to be okay with that. I'm not going to apologize to the internet. The apology wasn't for you guys. It was for them. I feel like in this situation, like this type of accountability should be handled in private, just like the apology should have. And the sort of discussion that is like happening between back and forth with us, like these things should be happening in private. And it's like when personal matters like this are brought onto like a public platform, I feel like backed up in a corner, like I have to defend myself or I have to say something. But it's like, I'm not going to sit here and go through every single thing that they said, like every single claim, every single this or that.
They have zero self-reflection. Why learn from mistakes when you can just blame others? To change, a person needs self-awareness and the ability to say, maybe I was wrong. But narcissists skip that part and go straight to justifying, blaming, or doubling down.
Because that is just going to fuel negativity. I truly don't feel like the back and forth is productive for either of us. But if they truly feel like sharing their story is what is going to help them in the long run, then go for it. But I have to genuinely step away. Like I said, I wasn't going to speak about them, and that was standing. But like hearing all of these things being said, it's been hard for me because it's like I have shown growth in my personal life, and it's hard to like show growth publicly when these are things that like was happening behind the scenes. So publicly, I might look the same to you guys, but I have changed a lot.
They reframe everything to make themselves the victim. Narcissists don't see themselves as the problem. They see themselves as the victim of an unfair world. If they cheat, lie, or manipulate, they'll twist the story until they're somehow the one who got hurt.
I am always open for growth and for changing to be a better person every single day. And I want to reflect on the past more because that actually genuinely helps me see ways that I need to improve and ways that I already have improved. And I just want to say that anytime that I had Beck on my channel, it was never out of malice. I never meant to disrespect them. And I really, 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 really did love them.
The I'm not that person anymore rebranding campaign. Because rewriting history is easier than owning it. A narcissist won't take true responsibility, but they will try to distance themselves from their past, as if their previous behavior was just a temporary phase or different person entirely. Reality check. The old them was the real them. They just don't like that you remember it. If they've changed, why do they avoid actually making amends? And the fastest way to tell they've changed: set boundaries. If they react badly, like apologizing when you've told them you don't want an apology, then nothing is different.
This might be a little tea because no one knows, but when Beck and I were just friends while I was with Feline, and Feline did know this, don't worry, one night I got really, really drunk and I told Beck, like, I really was in love with you and I still love you. Like, you're a great person. And I hyped them up because genuinely I owe so much to them and I have so much gratitude to them. They were there for me during some of the hardest moments of my life, i.e. when I was diagnosed with cancer. But I have never tried to show them in a certain way. Nothing was ever out of malice from the bottom of my heart, and I just really needed to make that clear.
The performative gratitude. For an audience, of course. A narcissist might dramatically thank you, but only if other people are watching. They want to look generous and appreciative while still being awful behind closed doors.
Honestly, all I can really do is just continue working on myself. My focus moving forward is to just ignore it all. Like, I wanted to take what Beck is doing and put it in like a positive way and put a positive spin to it and like be like, yeah, I am accountable. But at the same time, obviously, like, I do find frustrations in the ways that I feel like they are exaggerating or they have lied. I do firmly believe that two things can happen at once. I can be accountable, but I can also be frustrated. But I'm not accountable and frustrated about the same things. Like everyone likes to say, there are three sides to every story. Their side, my side, the truth.
What more do you want from me? Performative suffering incoming. They act like you've just rejected their Oscar-worthy attempt at redemption, and now you're the unreasonable one for not accepting their half-baked apology.
And like a really good example of like people viewing things differently, like kind of what's going on with like Blake and Justin. Blake feels like one thing happened, while Justin's like, no, that's not what happened. So you know what? I can't even sit here and firmly be like, okay, Beck is lying, because if they viewed it that way, then I have to accept that for what it is, because what's true to someone and the way that they view something might not be true to everyone else in the room. I want to play devil's advocate here for a second. If I'm remembering something wrong that Beck genuinely remembers as like a full truth, then that's fair as well, because I have really bad memory problems due to moments of high stress, trauma, BPD. When I have anxiety, sometimes I'll literally like black out because I'm so anxious.
I don't even remember that. Also known as the convenient amnesia defense. Suddenly, when confronted, their memory becomes as reliable as a Wi-Fi signal in a storm. They claim to have no recollection of the event in question, because if they don't remember it, how can they be responsible?
I just want to say, whether my apology was behind a paywall, whether it was in a Snapchat, whether it's in a YouTube video, or whether I say it to Beck directly, it is 100% sincere. And I have apologized to them personally, but that was years ago after our breakup. Beck and I was friends for about a year after we broke up. And obviously that didn't work out, which I understand, but I did apologize to them. I don't think that I took as much accountability as I do take now, because like I said, every day I like to reflect and just grow into a better person. So I'm not going to sit here and list off every single claim that they said and write down like, okay guys, these are the things that are true and these are the things that aren't. These are the things that I'm accountable for. Like, there's no productivity in that.
No productivity in that. In taking full accountability? If all else fails, they'll try and make you feel ridiculous for even bringing it up. Apparently, there's a statute of limitations on their bad behavior, and you're just being dramatic for not letting it go.
Because whether the internet knows what I'm accountable for versus what I'm not accountable for, that doesn't bother me. The only person that I'm worried about and them actually hearing me is Beck. And if they don't want to, that's their prerogative. I'm okay with that. I want them to do whatever helps them. I'm not apologizing for myself. I'm apologizing to the person that I was in a relationship with for almost 5 years. And I hurt them, and I'm sorry for that. I really want to continue taking that experience and that relationship and learning from it. Beck can say absolutely anything from this point forward, and I am not going to respond. I genuinely wish them nothing but the best. And the apology that I need to give to you guys, if I hurt any of you during this whole thing because you guys care for Beck, then I'm also sorry for that. I am a very flawed individual. That is not an excuse, but I'm a flawed individual that can learn from this experience. And thankfully, I have. Whether people see it or believe it, I know it because I am my own person and I know how I've been in past relationships. And as I've gotten older and more mature and I've learned more about my BPD and just who I am as a person, I have become a better person and I have become a better girlfriend. I've become a better friend, I've become a better pet parent, I've become a better daughter, I've become a better sister, but I'm still flawed. I'm super complex and nuanced, just like we all are. And this just has to be the last time that I speak about this to protect my peace, and I hope that Beck does things that also protects theirs. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Have they really changed? Here's how to tell. If a narcissist is truly different, you won't have to ask. You'll see it, not hear about it. They take real accountability without excuses. They respect your boundaries without guilt-tripping or pressuring you. They change their actions over time, not just when it's convenient. They understand that you don't owe them forgiveness. But if all they're doing is talking about their growth while expecting immediate rewards, they haven't changed. They've just rebranded. Thank you very much for joining me at this Narc Alert look at Amberlynn Reid's apology to Beck. Click like if you liked the video. I'd love it if you'd subscribe or grab a membership. I'll see you at the live stream on Wednesday, and until then, you know the routine. Just be kind, and hasta luego.